there. One of this anonymous viewer noted, and I think they're spot on, asking the drayage provider to weigh the container twice, empty and loaded, is an extra expense and time for everyone. Not to mention is their capacity to even do that. I'll throw that in there. Also, weigh stations will clog up. That is unreasonable. The entire regulation seems extremely confusing and laborious to all parties. If there are people who are not declaring the correct weights, causing ships to capsize, these shippers, carriers should be penalized rather than penalizing everyone. It seems like they're making rules because of a few wrongdoers rather than penalizing these companies. I don't disagree with anything that you said.
Yeah, I agree completely as well, and it'll definitely clog up the system considerably. You know, having to get a box weighed twice on each move is, in my opinion, impossible.
Yeah, on the drayage side especially, that's been an industry that's been pretty affected by congestion in all forms, and they're really, a lot of them are dependent on the number of turns they can do. If you ask those guys to go either weigh the container empty or go to a third-party weigh station and then go weigh in the in-gate line, that's cutting directly into their ability to earn revenue. I'm not sure that whatever the cost of this should be falling on that particular industry, but I think the thing to keep in mind is, and I think a lot of people have emphasized how they're not happy with the way that this has been kind of agreed upon and how it will be enforced. The real thing to keep in mind, though, is that, as Patrick mentioned, it's not going to be delayed. The IMO has been pretty clear about that. I think people are still hopeful that there might be some sort of delay in actual enforcement, so that and this is just sort of hearsay right now, but maybe you start submitting the VGM document or data element on July 1st, but there's no enforcement of it for a few months after to get everyone understanding how this process might work. It doesn't sound like the IMO has any interest in doing that, however. So, whatever issues this is going to bring up, I wouldn't anticipate a delay. I wouldn't expect a delay.
I think that's great, and I agree completely. I don't know that there's capacity to handle from a trucker's perspective. There were lots of things being stated out at the TPM. One person said, well, make sure that you're getting a weight from a trucker prior to it entering your supply chain for any container. And because what the weight of your product is. And again, one of the things that the Coast Guard kept saying is we typically don't have this problem in the United States. And what the numerous shipper associations were saying is that we're already complying by providing you the weight of our product already. So I think some additional clarification will come out. I think in the name of the ports, for the fact that ports are out there like Charleston saying, we don't want your VGM. We're going to weigh every container before we tender it to the carrier anyway, and we've got that agreement. I think there's going to be other ports that will need to meet that need for the shippers if they want shippers to continue to use their ports, because you're going to use ports, which makes things a little bit easier for you as well. So if you have a choice between maybe Norfolk or Charleston in the same region, and one will do this and one won't, you might choose Charleston over that just for the ease of use. Maybe an answer. Again, I think other ports will, or I hope other ports follow their lead. But I agree. I think this was not thought out, and I think the time and expense, I think you're right on with your point, and I think that point is being made by numerous trade associations around the United States right now, direct to the carriers. So thank you for that comment. Great comment.